I get asked all the time, where is the best place to live in Gilbert, Arizona? Welcome to Agritopia. Where is Agritopia? Agritopia is a neighborhood within Gilbert, Arizona, and with that, it can mean a lot. Gilbert is the 5th largest city in Arizona, only being 5,000 residents behind the 4-seed, Chandler. So when you say you live in Gilbert, this can mean a lot of different things. You typically will reference a landmark when you say that, something like, oh, I live in Gilbert, a few miles from downtown, or I live south of the 202, or I live near Agritopia. So luckily for you, if you live in this neighborhood, you are one of those landmarks. Off of the 202 and Higley Road, Agritopia is tucked just east of Santan Village Mall, and it is just slightly north of Discovery Park. These are two of the bigger known Gilbert areas, as Santan Village is our dedicated outdoor mall, and if you have a family in sports, Discovery Park will likely be where you spend most of your weekends. Inside of Agritopia, you are within your own little pocket, just south of the freeway and north and west of the major roads. Inside of it, you have 3 main things. 1, the neighborhood itself. 2, the Epicenter. And 3, Cosmo Dog Park. If you live in Agritopia, you are going to be just about 35 minutes from Old Town or the Fashion Square, about 36 minutes from downtown Phoenix, and if you're going to Chandler Mall, about 15 minutes. What even is Agritopia? Today, it is a master planned community that states that they redefine villages for the modern family. It's spread across 11 acres of urban farmland, embodying the rich spirit of Arizona agriculture. Originally, the land was homesteaded by the Reber family. In 1960, Jim Johnston and his wife Virginia bought the land for the family of them and their 3 boys. 2 of the sons, Steve and Paul, went to University of Arizona majoring in agriculture, while Joe, the eldest son, graduated from Stanford with an engineering degree. By the late 1990s and the early 2000s, Joe's engineering background helped plant the literal and figurative seeds of Agritopia today. As it sits, the neighborhood is split into 2 main sections. The first is Homestead Plus, which includes fan favorites like Joe's Farm Grill, the coffee shop, Garage East, Barn One, and plenty others. Joe's Farm Grill specifically was named and is owned after the Joe from earlier in the story. Cool enough, it was actually the family's home turned into a restaurant as the area expanded. So it still has all of the 60s design and style with updated modern safety features. The dining room, the fireplace, the kitchen, and all the bedrooms are still there. The second piece, newer to the area, is a mixed-use space called the Epicenter, with local favorites like Buck and Ryder, Belly Kitchen and Bar, Manor Phoenix, Peixoto, Salt and Straw, Air Guitar, and plenty more. Now, why would you want to live in Agritopia? Who is this neighborhood actually for? The location is an important piece, not because you are close to Santan Village or in Gilbert, but being inside of the metaphorical walls of Agritopia. It is one of the only communities like this in all of Arizona. Some people that talk about Arizona mention that it lacks a lot of that community feel. They mention that they might not be as connected to their neighbors, and a lot of that is the weather being so different through the year. When it's 120 degrees outside, we're not all outside playing like we used to. This is one of the rare communities in Arizona that brings such an intense feel of community. You should not live here if you don't like being close or knowing your neighbors at all. You definitely should not live here if you hate kids, being outside, being cared after, or just hearing the sound of happiness. This neighborhood really embodies the 1970s feel of living in a cul-de-sac. The neighborhood is the life of the party for birthdays, holidays, local events, and truly embodies communities. Whether you're coming home from work or going out on a morning walk, you're likely to run into one of your neighbors doing the exact same thing and striking a conversation. If that is not something you like doing, this is not the neighborhood for you. This is a close, tight-knit, community-feeling neighborhood, and homes only come on the market oh so often. So why would anyone want to actually live in Agritopia? Well, for Gilbert, this is probably the most unique neighborhood that we have possible. It's the most East Coast vibe, it's not very cookie cutter, and there's almost no stucco tiles. Here, you can go into a neighborhood and there's probably going to be 4 or 5 different models of homes. It's going to be all the browns, the beiges. It's not very desirable if you're coming from a state with a lot more color. We don't really have a lot of trees here, and this neighborhood is lined with them. So even though it's not the prettiest because of the season that we're in currently, fall and February, welcome to Arizona. The homes in this neighborhood are unique. You have anywhere from 1 million plus 5,000 square foot mansions with guest house, and then you have these, which are anywhere from 1,400 to 2,100 square foot, not townhomes, but we would call them here a zero lot line. What that means is you're going to be pretty close to your neighbors, but you're going to be inside of a neighborhood that is one of the best in Gilbert. It has $1 million homes surrounding it, and there's actually new construction happening down the way. So if you can get into a neighborhood that's worth $1.2 million for only $400,000, that's going to be an investment that you know is going to pay off. And if you're doing it right, you can buy your primary home first, live in it for 2 years, and then sell it with a tax-free profit. So these homes are really great starter options if you don't need a big lot, if you don't have a big family, you don't have a massive dog that needs a full acre to work off of. Like, something like this works. Now, on the complete other end of the spectrum, you have streets like this, which are lined with $1 million homes. They look like they are a smaller one-story home, but they're actually anywhere from 2,500 to 5,000 square feet. These streets are all lined with trees like we talked about earlier, but there's a big community feel that you can see. If you look up here, you can see that there are string lights going down the entire street. When you live in Agritopia, you're really embracing more of that neighborly vibe. It's not something that you're going to want to go and park in your garage and then tuck yourself away. This is something where people are outside, they're living on their front patios. You can see almost every single home here has patio furniture. We just saw a couple neighbors pick each other up to go for a walk. So if you're looking for something that's more community feel, something that's more engaging with other people, this is for you. The other piece about this neighborhood is almost every single home has a guest house, but this house behind me is something that's a little more unique. It is actually 2 full-size smaller houses. So it's not a 3,500 square foot full house and maybe a 500 square foot secondary house. It's actually 2,000 square foot homes on the same lot. So if you're someone that has, maybe you're looking for a next gen, you're looking for your mom and pops in your back, and then you want to be in the front, but you both need a little bit extra space, something like that's gonna be a perfect option for you. Now, this house might look the exact same as the one that we just saw, but it's actually the other side of the street. You can see that there's still a 2-car garage, full driveway, and even has a front patio. I mean, it's literally 2 houses for the price of one. It's insanity. Before we get into the big shopping areas, I want to talk about Cosmo Dog Park, which is actually right next door to Agritopia itself. When they planned out the community, they wanted a place for you to go outside with, whether it's little ones, whether you have a bunch of dogs. This is a place that includes bathrooms, it includes seating areas, and it includes a full-on basketball court for anything that you'd want, but isn't inside of Agritopia itself. This neighborhood continues that community feel. Inside this neighborhood, there is actually farming available for all the residents here. There are pomegranate trees, there's grapefruit, there's lime, and there's lemons. There's also full set fields for things like onions, lettuce, and whatever else you grow on a farm. The other thing you're getting is the community feel throughout is more string lights. We're on a full separate street here, and I'm actually standing on a shared pickleball court. How cool would it be if your entire neighborhood came together at night, you have s'mores, hot chocolate, and you're playing pickleball with all the people that you live across the street? I couldn't think of anything more picturesque. It almost is creepy. We're actually standing in right now what is called the Epicenter. It is going to be the business and commercial complex connected to Agritopia. There's great restaurants like Joe's Farm Grill, Barn One, but then here you're going to have something that's going to be a little bit more specific. So if you want date night with the wife, you have Buck and Ryder. If you want something with breakfast and the kids, you're going to have Matt's Big Breakfast down the way. This place is going to have everything that you need to keep it a kind of walkable neighborhood. There's even prosciutto coffee right down the way if you need a morning breakfast, as well as Dutch Bros. So inside the Epicenter, you're gonna have shopping, dining, and anything that you need to go walk to your house and not need a car. And then lastly, there's actually all the way down there, Air Guitar, which is gonna be a shopping center, but also ready-made meals. So if you want sushi, you want pizza, something quick for the family, you can just walk to Air Guitar. So you are within 2 miles from anything you need. So when people ask me, what is the #1 neighborhood in all of Gilbert? To me, it's Agritopia, because it feels like home. This isn't nearly long enough of a video to explain all the things that this community has to offer. If you're looking for something that's a little bit more in-depth, make sure to comment down below. And if you're looking to move here or into the Gilbert area, make sure to reach out to myself and my business partner, Templeton Walker. The email's gonna be down below. We're with Living Phoenix Metro. We'd love to earn your business.